Hello, everyone. Another week has now gone by, and we have had 2 Sundays of in-place services now under our belt. 2 weeks ago was Rite 2, and this past Sunday was Rite 1. It all seemed to flow fairly well. Couple glitches. I missed one thing or two, and a little bit of our structure needed to be tightened up a little bit. But overall, yeah, it went well, and are continuing to live stream the services. Went amazingly well. This team has done an incredible job of continuing to do a professional work of what we are presenting, so that when you are not able to be here in person, or don't feel safe enough yet to be in person, that you can still be a part of the community. So that's always good. Having mentioned about feeling safe to be a part of the community, we are continuing to receive registrations. And so as you hear back from maybe your fellow parishioners who have returned to services and how comfortable hopefully they have felt about it, and how we are keeping things very safe for them, there may be others that will continue to call the church or get on the website and fill out a registration, and their preference for Rite 1 or Rite 2, or no preference in particular. And so we are continuing to get further registrations for that. And even as maybe 1 or 2 people trickle back in from up north, they all as well can sign into the registration. Let me share a little thought that I came to my mind this morning. It seems like lately some of these thoughts go through my mind when I'm out on a bike ride with my wife. And that happened this morning. Now, I'm not sure if that's the best thought process for me to put out there. You be the judge of that. Here's what came to my mind. This concept. There is always more. There is always more. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, there is always more that we can encounter. There is more we can explore. There is more we can learn in so many areas. Obviously, within the Christian faith, there is always more. And I suppose the reason this came to my mind today is sometimes we get comfortable and cozy in our current understanding and our current specific set of beliefs, and stop continuing to grow and expand and explore and learn more. And it's always good to go more. I think part of why this came up to me lately, Franciscan Father Richard Rohr, in his daily meditations, has been talking about living on the margins rather than the center. And I think that's a little bit of what I'm talking about. That sometimes we can get all comfortable living in the center of our social life, living on the center of our faith life and our faith community and our religious traditions. And we kind of get settled in, we get comfortable there. And that's a good thing, because sometimes there's so much rocking and rolling in our lives that it's good to have a place where we find normal, somewhat normal anyway, and we can be comfortable there and find security there. That is good. What Father Rohr talked about is that there is a downside to living in that comfortable, cozy, in the center of our tradition place. That we can lose sight that there is a bigger picture than what we are seeing right now in this moment. And sometimes we can, and I've mentioned this before, fall asleep, as it were. Jesus spoke of this. Jesus talked about waking up, and some other faith traditions use the term enlightenment. Within our Christian tradition, Jesus talked about being born again. And actually, that term born again, that's not the best translation. The best translation really is born from above. And if you look at grammatically that little part of the sentence there, what it really is saying is, be being born from above. Be being born from above. In other words, continually being born from above. So there's this sense of that we have not just been born again and we've arrived, or born from above and we've arrived, but we continue to develop and grow and be being born from above. That it's an ongoing awakening process in our lives, enlightenment process, becoming more and more, growing more and more in our understanding of who God is and what God is about in our love, in our lives. And so it's an exciting faith journey. Sometimes if we stay at the center, we miss out. Father Rohr talks about living on the margins. And when we live on the margins, on kind of a little bit of in the center, but on the margins of our community, we are able to hear things a little bit broader. We are able to see things from a different perspective. And Father Rohr says that is a liminal space. It's kind of a boundary place where we can kind of start to peer and see things in a fuller way, things that maybe make a little clearer sense to us. And so I suppose the one thought I want to give to you and leave with you today is to continue to seek more. It's comfortable, it's cozy when you live comfortably in the center of whatever your faith tradition is, but that isn't necessarily where Jesus wants us to be. I think of his conversations with the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the scholars of his day, and he told those folks, he called them blind guides who are leading the blind. And so he was in a sense saying they were blind. They weren't seeing clearly enough. And it's true of all of us. None of us are seeing clearly enough. We are seeing as clearly as we can in this moment. But hopefully we are seeing more clearly than we did a year ago, or 5 years ago, or 10 years ago. And hopefully we are living in that space where we are continuing to explore more into the future and understand more a year from now than I do now, or 5 years from now than I do now. And so please let me encourage you, in your safe place during this viral reality, continue to seek more. May God's blessings be with you this day.